Besties, be so serious because the way chaos just strutted into my For You page with zero warning, nope, my spirit wasn't ready. Antoine and Deja, yes, that couple have managed to serve us one of the most dramatic, complicated, and downright messy conversations TikTok has had in forever. And no, it's not even about their condition this time. It is about the choices they made as parents. Loves, the tea is pippin'. It's tragic and it's the kind of story that makes you laugh nervously while clutching your water bottle like, is this real life? Alright guys, let's roll the tape back because some of you are probably like, wait, who even are these two? So picture this. Antoine and Deja, both TikTok creators with over 500,000 followers each, and not just your average influencer couple doing dances in the kitchen. Nope. Their claim to fame is that they both live with hereditary osteogenesis imperfecta, a condition that basically makes their bones fragile like glass. And I don't mean metaphorical glass, I mean one wrong move and it snap, crackle, pop like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Because of that, they both rely on wheelchairs and have a caretaker with them 24/7 just to get through daily life.
I'm Deja.
And I'm Antoine. We are a couple.
And we were born with osteogenesis.
Imperfecta. Our bones are like glass.
Together, we have broken over 600
Yes,
bones.
600. People say some crazy things.
They call us Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
Yes, we don't have a voice filter.
People stare
But we don't care.
because we're looking fresh.
Fresh. The king is awake, baby. What you cooking?
French toast and sausage.
Ew, just like I like it. Can't wait to eat.
My name is Deja. I'm 27 years old and I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
My name is Antoine. I am 30 years old, and I'm from Washington, D.C. Yeah.
OI is a bone condition that causes our bones to break, sprain, or fracture easier than others. And we both have two different types.
Nathan has type 3. I have type 2. My type is more severe than hers.
We depend on our wheelchairs.
These wheels gonna take us far. Look at that.
And how did this duo come together? Well, grab your snacks because their origin story is straight out of a Lifetime movie. Back in 2015, Deja's sister introduced them online. They started talking and kept it going for not one, not two, but 7 whole years. 7 years of online flirting, texting, and building this long-distance situationship before finally meeting in person. And when they did, the internet ate it up. People crowned them as a power couple. Like, look at them, overcoming obstacles, proving love conquers all.
So, we met through my older sister.
She landed to me on the bus.
She called me. She told me she met someone that had OI. He gave off the impression that he was the stuff.
Yeah.
That was in 2015. We were messaging every day. Like every day, all day. We met each other in person.
After 7 years.
They were showered with support, donations, emotional cheerleading, and of course, the TikTok follows were pouring in faster than iced coffee on a Monday morning. So far, so wholesome, right? Power couple vibes, inspirational love story, internet rooting for them, but besties, hold on tight. Because the fairy tale curtain is about to drop and what's behind it is messy, like really messy. Fast forward to October last year. Out of nowhere, they announced they had a baby and everyone gasped. Not in the way, because here's the twist. The baby was actually born in August, 2 months earlier, at only 29 weeks. She was premature. She did not share the pregnancy journey. They did not talk about the delivery. They waited until October to tell the internet. And instantly, people had questions. Why hide the pregnancy? Why hide the birth? People quickly speculated that they already knew what kind of backlash was waiting for them. And honestly, they were not wrong. Because here's the heartbreaking part. The baby girl inherited the exact same condition. She has never left the hospital since the day she was born. She's been hooked to machines her entire life so far. And instead of congratulations, the internet's reaction was, why would you bring a child into this knowingly?
And then this baby's already been in the hospital since the baby's been born because the predicament they just put for this child is not all right. And then they're on there talking about we're looking for a house. You guys don't even have a apartment, and you gave this baby this predicament. You guys don't have a place. 3 wheelchairs.
And I have to pause here. Be serious right now. They admitted themselves that there was a 98 chance their baby would inherit their condition. 98%, and they still went ahead with it. I'm sorry, but why? But why do you even call this? Courage or recklessness? Maybe both. Antoine really tried to spin this into something noble. He explained that the pregnancy wasn't exactly planned, but that they had wished for a child one day, and when it finally happened, they decided it was meant to be. He said their plan was to raise their daughter to love herself, to know her worth, and that she would be fine despite her condition.
Speak it into existence. She will also be the same way as us, have a healthy life.
Better.
Right, better than ours. She's gonna, know her worth. She's gonna, what else I'm trying to say? She's gonna love herself, love the way she is. It's so many things. So yes, that's why we did this, because we knew what we were doing. She was not planned, even though we know we wanted a child one day. We didn't think it would be this year. But, yeah, anyway, she's here. She's here. She's here for a reason. She has a disability, and she's gonna be all right. So yeah. Hope that answered your question.
And besties, on paper, that almost sounds like a Hallmark card. But let's get real for a second. How exactly do you raise a child to be fine when she's been stuck in a hospital bed for her entire life so far? How do you talk about self-love when she literally can't survive without machines keeping her alive? The comment section dragged it perfectly. Self-worth won't get her off life support. Like the audacity to sell inspiration when the reality is tubes, wires, and ICU beeping. Now, nobody is saying people with disabilities can't or shouldn't have children. That's not the point. The internet isn't being cruel here. The point is, when you already knew there was a 98 chance your baby would inherit this condition and you still rolled the dice, that's when people start screaming selfish. And for a moment, imagine me leaning in right now like, loves, if you think the defense was shaky, just wait, because the next part, it's even messier. And here's where things really started to spiral because let's not forget, Antoine and Deja already need caretakers just to get through everyday life. So tell me, how exactly are they supposed to raise a newborn who also requires round the clock medical supervision? Like, picture this. 2 parents who can't even make it through the day without help, now adding a medically fragile baby into the mix. Loves, the math is not math. The internet was immediately divided. Some were like, this is brave. Others were screaming, be so for real. This is reckless, and honestly, the truth might sit somewhere in the messy middle. But let's not sugarcoat it. The person carrying the weight of this decision is the baby. She's the one who ends up suffering most, while everyone else debates semantics. Besties, if you thought that was the peak of the mess, buckle up, because the next chapter of this story, it's even more chaotic. Here's where it gets extra controversial, besties, because they actually had other options, like literal science blessed options. IVF exists. They could have gone down that road, tested embryos, and chosen one without the condition. Boom, healthy baby. Still biologically theirs, drama avoided. But nope, they said natural or nothing. And why? Because Deja wanted to prove she could do it the old fashioned way, and she even made videos flexing about it. And labs, I get it, wanting to feel normal, wanting to prove the haters wrong, wanting that glow up storyline. But when the ending of that story is your child being hooked up to machines like it's her full time job, that is when the internet collectively screams, nope, jail. immediate jail. The audacity wasn't just on sale, it was basically in the clearance bin. Because at this point, it wasn't just about bringing a baby into the world, it was about validation. Validation at the cost of a child's health, her comfort, and her actual life. And that is what made people furious. And guys, hold on, because somehow the plot got even more messier. On top of everything else, Antoine and Deja don't even have a house yet. Let me say that louder for people in the back. No stable home. They had a whole baby while still struggling with the basics. So their daughter isn't just stuck in a hospital for medical reasons, she literally has nowhere to go if she was released tomorrow. Imagine that. Your discharge papers say, "Congrats, you survived," but your address says TBD. Be so for real. The bar is not just underground, it is in the basement with the rats holding a house party. Naturally, the internet did what it always does. It split right down the middle like a messy group chat argument. On one side, you had people defending them with they deserve kids just like everyone else. And on the other side, the clapback was brutal. Deserving kids doesn't mean forcing a child to suffer. The dwelling hot takes were louder than a TikTok sound on loop. And honestly, both sides had points. But let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. The only person actually paying the price here is that little girl. Not the commenters, not Antoine, not Deja. And besties, let's be real, this debate was never about whether disabled people can be parents. That's a straw man. The real issue is knowingly creating a child when the suffering was basically guaranteed from day one. That is where the internet drew a hard line, and the comment section, it was eating them alive. And for a voiceover moment, imagine me leaning closer like, "Loves, if you thought the comment section was divided, wait till you see how emotional this saga gets, because the internet sympathy and outrage only escalated from there." Here's where we have to put the gossip down for a second and actually look at the emotional mess. Because on one hand, we do get it. Antoine and Deja wanted to feel normal. They wanted to prove they could have a family naturally, like everyone else. Emotionally, that makes sense, right? You want the fairy tale moment, you want the glow up storyline, you want the TikTok comments saying, "Oh, goals." But logically, this whole thing is a disaster. They did not just roll dice, they threw the whole casino at their daughter's future. And now she is the one paying the bill. And the wild part, people would have been rooting for them if the stakes weren't so high. But here, the gamble wasn't hollowed out. It was about a child's life. The baby is the one carrying the consequences while the parents keep filming TikToks and besties. That is why even the most loyal followers cannot defend them. It's funny until it isn't. And this is the exact moment where the cute storyline turned into a collective internet facepalm. For my voiceover crew, imagine me whispering, "Loves, if you thought this emotional reveal was heavy, wait until we zoom it out." Because the bigger picture, it drags the entire conversation into even messier territory. Let's zoom out, because this case is a mirror of a bigger conversation. Just because you can have children doesn't mean you should. That is why CPS exists. That is why discussions about parental capability matter, because not every parent can provide what a child needs to thrive. Parents are supposed to protect their children, to prepare them for success. But here, it feels like Antoine and Deja were chasing validation more than thinking about their children's well-being. And that is heartbreaking. So what does the future look like for the little girl? Best case scenario, she grows up and one day leaves the hospital when she is old enough to use a wheelchair. But even then, she'll need constant care, just like her parents. And since her parents can't provide that, the cycle of outside help continues. Worst case, she never leaves the hospital. She spends her life hooked to machines because of a decision she never got to make. That is what people are angry about, because she is innocent. She did not ask for this, and yet here she is, living it. So, do we sympathize with Antoine and Deja? Absolutely. Their condition is not their fault. They did not ask to be born with it. But do we agree with the choice they made? That is where most people drew the line. Because while love stories are cute and TikTok loves an inspiring couple, the reality of their child's suffering cannot be ignored. This baby doesn't deserve to start a life in a hospital bed. She did not deserve the endless challenges that could have been prevented. And if Antoine and Deja are serious about wanting a family, maybe they need to rethink the approach. IVFs exist for a reason. Adoption exists for a reason. For a reason. Cephopaths exist for a reason. Anyways, guys, that's today's chaos. What do we think? Was it brave, selfish, or somewhere in between? Sound off below. Rate the audacity from 1 to 10. Group chat adjourned. Be kind, drink water, and of course, send receipts. Mwah.